Given that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is currently 20 films, dozens of television series, and multiple one-shots deep, it's getting to the point where the studio is running out of fresh faces to cast in their many, many projects. But because each film and episode is supposed to exist in one big universe, this can cause some confusion among the audience. Like, this is all meant to be one universe, right? Right? Whatever. These things are fun to spot, but also really, really annoying. Come on, Marvel. Some of these people fill really important roles on TV, or at least they did before Netflix went and cancelled them all, and now they're all on the big screen too? It doesn't make sense. Okay, I know I'm being pedantic, but if you're as much of a nerd as I am, you'll understand. So, I'm Ewan from What Culture, and here are 8 actors who played multiple roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 8, Enver Akash. First role, Officer Saunders in The Avengers. Second role, Daniel Souza in Agent Carter. Enver Akash first popped up in the MCU during the Battle of New York in the first Avengers movie, where he's seen informing his fellow officer that it's going to be an hour before they can scramble the National Guard, only for Cap to land in front of the pair and swiftly take out a handful of Chitauri. Then, in 2015, Akash landed a recurring role in Marvel's Agent Carter as SSR agent Daniel Souza. He appeared in the very first episode of the show and was a key player throughout both seasons 1 and 2 before NBC cancelled it due to poor ratings. But with that in mind, Agent Carter was really good. You should go watch it. On top of that, Akash's role in the Marvel Universe was almost a heck of a lot bigger. One of the deleted scenes from The Avengers, titled The Cop and the Waitress, saw his character receive a Chitauri blaster from Captain America before wandering through the streets of New York and shooting an alien with his own weapon. So, are they related? Is he a grandson? Just a son? Who knows? But in terms of pedantic nerd offenses, this is one lost xylophone note away from being an unforgivable mistake. Number 7, Benedict Cumberbatch. First role, Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange. Second role, Dormammu in Doctor Strange. Talk about a big first impression. It simply wasn't enough for Benedict Cumberbatch to strap on the red cape, ridiculous amounts of belts, and Tony Stark-esque facial hair to become Doctor Strange, as well as that cringy American accent. Seriously, Marvel, he couldn't keep that, but whatever.
There was no other way.
During the film's climactic battle, the magical doctor squares off against the powerful, alternate dimension-dwelling Dormammu. This huge CGI beastie was played by none other than Cumberbatch himself, who provided the facial capture movements for the villain. When asked about the double role, director Scott Derrickson mentioned the idea came from Cumberbatch himself, who assumed that Dormammu wouldn't usually have eyes and a mouth when traveling through the dark dimension, so would only take on a physical role in order to communicate with Strange himself. As far as double roles go, this one's actually pretty cool, and with Doctor Strange 2 set to come within the next few years, there's a pretty good chance Cumberbatch could reprise both roles all over again. Number 6, Imogen and Isabella Poynton. First role, Corman Day's daughter in Guardians of the Galaxy. Second role, Leela Barton in Avengers Age of Ultron. The Hawkeye home scenes in Avengers Age of Ultron contain a couple of cool references and Easter eggs, as well as setting up some tension between Stark and Rogers that would plant the seeds for Civil War. But eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed one more tidbit that's quite easy to miss. When the crew arrives at the Barton Ranch, they're greeted by Laura, Cooper, and Leela Barton, Hawkeye's wife, son, and daughter. Laura and Cooper are new additions to the cast, but the actress who plays Lila has popped up before as Days, John C. Reilly's daughter in Guardians of the Galaxy. She appears twice in that film. She's the red-skinned alien being held by her mother, who's saved by Rocket Raccoon during the final battle, who swoops in with his ship at the last minute and saves their lives. We later see her during the film's ending montage too, as Day returns home to greet his family. There's a pretty good chance, however, that both characters are dead. Ooh, Infinity War really went to town on everything pure in the world, didn't it? Jesus. Number 5, Sean Gunn. First role, Kraglin in Guardians of the Galaxy. Second role, on-set Thanos/Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy. Sean Gunn, like ex-Benedict Cumberbatch, hasn't just played multiple roles within the MCU, but within the same MCU movie. Brother of director James Gunn, Sean primarily has a supporting role as Kraglin, one of Yondu's Ravagers who can be seen at various points throughout the film. His other roles were a little bit more behind the scenes, however, with the actor providing the on-set performances for both Rocket Raccoon and Thanos. The characters were actually voiced by Bradley Cooper and Josh Brolin respectively, of course, but Sean stepped in on set so the actors had a visual reference to work with. I mean, look at him, just a big lad in a green and bauble suit. Cute. Number 4, Matt Gerald. First role, White Power Dave in All Hail the King. Second role, Melvin Potter in Daredevil. Matt Gerald's first appearance in the MCU wasn't even in a movie or a TV show, but on the home media release of Thor: The Dark World in 2014. The Blu-ray/DVD contained a short film dubbed a one-shot called All Hail the King, a follow-up to Iron Man 3 that detailed exactly what happened to Trevor Slattery after he's captured at the end of that movie. Slattery literally bumps into a guy called White Power Dave while in prison, spilling his food tray down the inmate's clothes. Dave then threatens Trevor, calling him out for not being the real Mandarin before being scared off by Slattery's goons. Then, 1 year later, Gerald popped up in a completely different role in Marvel's Netflix series Daredevil. He played Melvin Potter and was a fantastic part of that show in all 3 seasons. Number 3, Tony Curran. First role, Boar in Thor: The Dark World. Second role, Finn Cooley in Daredevil. Another Daredevil alum, Tony Curran's role as ginger gangster Finn Cooley in Season 2 of the show was not his first appearance in the MCU, though, given that the character had his face blown off by the Punisher, it's probably going to be his last. Rather, Curran was first seen in Thor: The Dark World as Boar, Thor's big old granddaddy in the Dark Elves vs. Asgardian SmackDown from the film's opening. Boar dies off-screen, leaving the throne open for his son Odin to assume, but, he did set the tone for that film. His name kind of, intimates just how boring the whole thing was. Sorry, really don't like Thor: The Dark World, bit naff. Incidentally, Curran also appeared in X-Men First Class as an agent at the Division X facility who's killed by Kevin Bacon's Sebastian Shaw. So, based on all of this evidence, if Curran does appear in another comic book movie, he's probably safe to assume that he's brown bread. Number 2, Laura Haddock. First role, fan of Captain America in Captain America: The First Avenger. Second role, Meredith Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's been some speculation that Laura Haddock's 2 separate MCU roles aren't actually separate at all, but are actually one and the same. However, if you do a bit of the old maths, it just doesn't add up, and the only logical conclusion you can draw is that the 2 parts are very much disconnected. Twitches slightly. Her first appearance was in Captain America: The First Avenger as a fan of Cap's who excitedly requests his autograph. She looks to be in her late 20s here, and since the film is set in 1944, it would be at least 70 years old during Guardians of the Galaxy's opening in 1988. Only she's not. She doesn't look much older than 30. Plus, since Peter Quill is only a young boy in the scene, if she were indeed 70, she would have had to have given birth at 60, which is possible but also highly unlikely. It would have been pretty cool if the filmmakers had tried to tie these 2 roles together in some way. Little connections like that really are the whole idea of a cinematic universe, and it makes it feel more tangible, but sadly, that wasn't the case. Number 1, Alfre Woodard. First role, Miriam Sharp in Captain America: Civil War. Second role, Mariah Dillard in Luke Cage. The internet was set ablaze when it learned that Alfre Woodard had been cast in Captain America: Civil War by way of a press document sent out by Disney ahead of the film's world premiere. Why? Well, just months previously, Woodard had landed a recurring role in Marvel's Luke Cage Netflix series as politician Mariah Dillard, cousin of the show's primary antagonist, Cottonmouth. However, that blaze was quickly extinguished when news emerged that the 2 parts were entirely unrelated. In Civil War, Woodard plays the grieving mother of a boy who was killed in Sokovia during the final battle of Avengers: Age of Ultron, and not a scheming government representative as she was in Luke Cage. According to Civil War's writers, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, Robert Downey Jr. suggested her for the movie role before the filmmakers found out she was already in Luke Cage. You know what? The other examples on this list are all pretty forgivable, but this one was noteworthy for the fact that both things debuted in the same year. Awkward or what? And that, my fellow pedants, was our list. Know of any other actors who took on the same role in the MCU twice? Be sure to let us know down in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and then head back over to whatculture.com where we say down with this sort of thing every day. As always, I've been Ewan, and I'll see you next time.